Yeah, B and I are gotten started on our ride. Going off the road, leads off the farm now. See how muddy it is. Bee's walking a little tender-footed today where she had her hooves trimmed on Thursday and had new shoes put on. Usually first week after a trim, feet are a little sensitive. Doing all right, last year. Warmed up to about maybe mid-50s today, which is a big improvement over what it has been, and it finally quit raining. It's the first day the sun's been out in probably about 3 or 4 days now. Rained last night some more, rained all day yesterday. You can see the mud. This bee's having to use the brakes a little bit on that little slope there. Yeah, this is probably the prettiest day we've had in quite a while now. Perfect riding weather. What do you think, Bee? Glad to get out. It's been over a week for you since you've had any exercise. Big girl, we're gonna go left, okay? Come on, let's go. Come on, over here. Come on, baby. Come on, baby girl. All the ponds have filled up good. No problem, shortage of water right now. Girl must be. Girl. Don't get over there. That's gonna be worse to walk on. Stay on the side, okay? Make it harder on yourself when you go over there. Creek we're crossing got a little flow in it, filling up the pond, spilling over from that pond up there and down the hill. Baby, we'll go straight up the hill, okay? Come on. Up the hill, baby. Nice, okay. Come on. Come on, girl. Come on. Come on, baby. Come on. Come on, baby. Right. Ooh. Sure everybody the pond there. It's full. Alright, baby, come over here. Come on. Yeah, B and I are making our way down the old dirt road here. Quite many houses on it. Trying to make our way to the Blackwell farm. I don't ride down this road very often. There's a lot of dogs on it. Come out and bark at you. We ran into some back there just a while ago. Just have got past them. There's a creek flowing out there in the woods. Never noticed that before. Wind's blowing right much. The bees on high alert. Go this way, girl. Got a scooter coming. Alright, you ready for it, alright? I'm up behind you. This is about one of two ways to get to the Blackwell farm. It kind of, if you come this way, it puts you on the front side of the Blackwell farm. So that's the reason I chose to come this way today. The wind has really picked up since we started riding. Horse tracks already down here on the road. Somebody's already been through here. Can't tell if it may be from earlier or yesterday one. Hard to tell. I think this dirt road is probably about a total of probably a mile long, I'd say. This is just like the second half of it right here. Now we're on the Blackwell farm now. Coming up on one of the back fields. They do board horses up here at this farm. A few. It used to be quite a bit more, but it's just a couple, I think, that stay up here now. It used to be an old dairy cow farm up here a long time ago. And we'll see, coming up, you'll see the silos and the barn they stored the hay in. They still store a little hay in that. Milking barn. They also farm tobacco as well, so there's a few packing barns and things like that there. There's a pasture right there. Oh, girl. Maybe you need to get back over this way, okay? You're getting off the path. Rock, big rock, ain't they? Quite mushy through here. This here is the hay barn right here. Little ducks in there, girl. Little ducks in there. Hey, quackers. Oh, girl. Oh, girl. Baby. See the silos. Way on up there. That girl. Ooh. That right there was the milking barn, I think. Girl. Up here, girl, okay? No, go this way. LB and I have come off the Blackwell farm, going down Lonely Road here. I've ridden this several times on the Rancher. I've ridden it on B before, but I don't think that I've made a video of it with her. On this old home place right here, all that's left is the chimneys of the house. Basically, this road right here connects the Blackwell farm, the backside of it, with the combine graveyard. That's where we're heading to. Like I said before, that barn right there, that's just the foundation of it. It was right much of it was still standing. In fact, it was like 2 stories high. And it was standing up last year, but I think whoever it is that owns the land, they, I guess, decided to push it down because it had started caving in a little bit. And then went on and pushed it in, I guess, so it would fall on somebody. Hasn't been the best day with B. She's been spooking at just about everything she sees. So it's been been a nice day to ride, but she hasn't been in the best of moods. Usually she every once gets nervous, that's it. You stay that way the rest of the time you ride. It's hard to deal with sometimes. Calm down, girl, you know that? Things not out to get you. These here we're coming through now are tobacco fields. Normally in the summertime would be full of tobacco. Now won't be long, another couple of months they'll be planting again. Easy, girl, easy. Use your brakes, alright? Slow down. You're ready to come up down here on this creek. Crossing the road, goes right over the creek here. They poured the cement across it so that, when they drive their trucks through here, it's like riding over a cement slab, Water spills right over the top of it. The creek's got pretty good flow to it as well. That rain we had yesterday, days before. Still, yeah, it's really running through there today. Alright. I think we might stop here and take us a little break. Dee and I are just over here still taking us a little break here by the spillway. I guess you could call it a waterfall. Baby girl. Show y'all a little downstream section here. girl. No. Alright. Yep. Slow down. Slow down. Okay, don't run. Just walk slowly with me, alright? Step up on that. There you go. A little dam right there almost. I think that's just debris that's washed up here to the edge here. I don't think the beavers are right here. I think farther upstream there are some beaver dams though. But, like I said though, this is... Come on, big girl. Come on. Come on, girl. It ain't that bad. It ain't that bad. Come on. Get down here on the level ground, alright? It ain't that bad, girl. You can get you a drink of water if you want to. You're welcome to get you some water. The rain's back over your neck, right? Ready to go, girl? Not ready? Not ready, sweet baby? Alright. Don't you want some water? I'll get you some water, baby. I don't mind. Get you first. Okay, we're going to go this way though. I'm glad you crossed the water. Good, that's good. We're going up the hill here, baby. Okay? Alright, there you go. Good girl. Good. Like I said, this is still part of Lonely Road, making our way. Once we get to the top of this hill here, we'll be at the combine graveyard though. This road's pretty easy to ride, you know. It's usually pretty quiet. You hardly ever see anybody drive down this. I mean, it's a private road, access road, you know, so it's not going to see a lot of traffic anyway, which is good. Here we are, coming on the combine graveyard now. I'll try and ride through here a little bit if I can. See some of the, give you a little more detailed look at some of the combines and stuff out here. These are all, like I said before, they date back, you know, to the 70s and 80s and 90s model combines, most of them by a company called Gleaner, which is a subsidiary of Allis-Chalmers and the AGCO Corporation. Pretty much all of these are of that description. Each one of these has something written on the windshield of it, to say like good engine, good transmission, basically this is a scrap yard, and they salvage the parts off of these and resell them to the public, so whatever they can get that's still good off of these, they may sandblast it or, something like that and fix it up and sell it. Some of them are actually still in good enough shape. They'll resell the whole unit, and I think that's kind of a rare thing. B and I are making our way off the combine graveyard now, heading down this path. The path really doesn't have a name. I've ridden it right many times in my earlier videos there. Take it slow, girl, okay? Take it slow. You need to slow up. Slow it up, okay, and walk, okay? You're going to get sliding in this mud if you keep on moving too fast, alright? I tell you, for this path right here to be on a hill like it is, it sure is mighty wet. Most of the time, something like this is on the hill, it drains out pretty good, but as I've said before, we just had so much rain lately that I guess everything's soaked to the bone. Slow up, girl. You're moving too fast still. Slow down. Slow down. Okay? Just walk. Just walk. Go straight, girl. Come on. Come on. Come on, baby. This right here is the church path. Now, I rode down it. The last ride I did on the rancher, I rode down through here and made a video of it. When you come to the end of it, it's church cemetery there. It's an old house and stuff. Right there at the old home place there at the end, kind of partially standing. How are we going to navigate this, Miss Girl? How do you want now? I think we better go over this way. We're going to walk it though, okay? We need to walk when we go through it, okay? Thank you. Alright, I think we go on this side and then loop around. There you go. It's good. Thank you. Good job. Just walk. There you go. Good girl. Thank you. That was better. Dee's navigating her way around all the mud holes. Kind of cool right in this section right here. Must be a low-lying area. The temperature always drops a few degrees. It's not much cooler right in here. Easy. Just walk. Just walk. You'll be alright. You'll be alright. Walk through it. Walk. Good girl. Good job. Thank you. Good job. Yeah, here we are coming up on this home place now. Since I'm riding D today, I should be able to ride through here without tearing the ground up much, so I think we'll try and make our way through. Try and pick the drier sections. Like I said, this is the church and the cemetery out here. Of course, there are no graves up here. They're all on that hill over there. Yeah. Easy, baby. Easy does it. Let's try and walk out here, sweetheart. Okay? You walk on the asphalt for me. There you go. The path at the top of that hill up there will take you to the to another path, but it's got a big mud hole on it, and it's almost, you can't get around it, it's so wide. And we're just going to go down this way and get on the railroad down here. Attention, girl. Right on the edge here is an old barbed wire fence. Evidently used to be part of the farm here or something. There's a big pond right out there. This right here is the drive that leads out from the church to the main road, highway out here. I don't know if you can see it over there. There's the pond. It's pretty good size one. I've seen people standing right here on the side of this road fishing though in it. Summertime. Pretty good size. Still that fence is still running alongside there. I almost want to say, I don't know for sure, but that old home place that's back there up in the woods, I almost think that where the church is and the church cemetery, that was, some kind of farmland for probably whoever's home that was. And I'm just guessing. I really don't know the whole story behind this land right here. So. And this we're on right now is the Moonlight Railroad. It would have went across the highway there and kept on going, but this here is this section right here. Typically, I think I've ridden it a time or two in some of my earlier videos, but generally speaking, I don't come down on this end very often. still, it's still an open section of it though, just like the rest of it is up the way here. Figure I won't step in that hole right there. This is the pond dam over here. We're riding on the back side of it. Now where the pipe goes up under the railroad here. Allows water to drain through and goes out that way. Looks like some of the water is spilled over the railroad here. This is from all the rain flooding. I don't know an interesting story about this railroad here. It's not on this section right here, but the section of it where it crosses the river here in the town. The river would flood routinely, and the tracks went across the river, and there were several, I think there were at least two, it may have been three trestles across the river. And I don't know exactly why it was so many trestles, but anyway, from what I was told, the water would flood over the tracks, and when the train would come through, during those times, it would have a hard time getting up the, I think it was a little bit of an incline there, and, it would, the train would get spinning on the tracks and wouldn't be able to pull the weight up there. The train would have to back up, a ways and try and get a running start, And I think it had to do like that, sometimes right often, and from what I was told, that may have been one of the reasons. I don't think, probably not the only reason, but may have been one reason why this rail system may have been shut down. Was, due to maybe some of the difficulty or something, for the train being able to make it through that area where the river was at. I think, like I said, I think the river posed a little bit of an issue for it, time to time, whenever there was a lot of heavy rainfall. Somebody's been out here doing some surveying on this pink property tape. There's a lot of rocks down here on the end of this end of the railroad. I mean, the soil's naturally rocky around here, but there's some big old boulders out there. Like they're growing, girl. Coming up out of the ground. And getting back to the thing about the train, coming through here, I was told by one of the locals around here that it came through once in the morning and once at night, late evening, night time. It would go, I guess, in the morning time, and then it would make its return trip at night. This railroad, they actually crossed out of state, and kept on going. So it spanned If I'm not mistaken, it spanned 2 states. This particular line right here did. So, crossed right many counties and kept on going though. See some of the rocks I'm talking about. It's like they grow in the 5 ground. That would have been really cool to have been around here, you know, when the train was still coming through. But like I said, I think the train, the last time it came through here was like 1980 or 81. I think it was definitely out of here by 82, if I read correctly. And they came in, and this particular section right here, all the way back into town that way, they took the tracks up. That's why none of the tracks are here anymore. Every once in a while you're riding along, you see an old cross tie laying on the side of the bed here, but even those have rotted away mostly. But when you go back behind, like you're going down the railroad coming this way, and you cross the highway back there where I was talking about. Now through there, there is I think a good little ways on out after you cross the highway. The tracks are still there, but of course the trees and stuff have grown up in between the railings and things like that, so it's not as definitely not as open as this is. And this particular strip right here was owned by an older man. He's no longer living, but he opened this back up. In other words, it was not this clear when he bought the land, and he came back down in here. He had a couple of brush cutter type weed eater things with blades on the end of them, and he started with that. He came down through here and cut down a bunch of all the little saplings and things that were growing up along the edges and stuff like that. And yeah, he did quite much work back here, you know, to make things nice, you know, because like I said, you know, on either side of his property, you know, the railroad is definitely not as open as it is here. Well, you've had the sniffles today, Aunt Dave. You're blowing your nose the whole time. You got allergies? Have you got allergies, girl? I would think so, the way you're acting. I don't think you do. The sun's been out nice and bright. That's been good. Ooh, baby. Pulled up. And that right there is the M&M Road. You can see how bad a shape it's in. It's nothing like what it used to be. The logging company did a number on it. So. I guess only time will tell when summertime gets here whether it'll be even passable again. Too wet to ride on now, though. I was coming up through there on my tractor on my 8N, and this has been a couple of months ago. I think it might have been back in December. I was coming up through there, and we hadn't even had as much rain then as we've had now. And it was all I could do to make it up that wide road on the tractor, though. I mean, it made it, but I thought there for a few minutes, I thought in a minute I was about to get stuck, That wouldn't have been good. But luckily, I made it through, though. I wasn't even pulling anything. I can only imagine if I was pulling a blade or an implement behind it, it would have definitely gotten stuck for sure. Hoping to be able to take the tractor and take the blade. I've just got a small blade, and maybe taking smooth these edges of the railroad back out again, try and pull that rock back up here into the center, especially the places where it's kind of mounded up. That's what I'm hoping to do, but I don't really. It's hard to say how well it'll work, because the tractor's small, and the blade itself is small and doesn't have a whole lot of weight to it. So, but hopefully next month when we get daylight savings time back, I'll be able to get back here, and do a little bit, here and there. Maybe make it look a little better. I don't know. I'd like to be able to fill in that, places like that are sunk out and holding water. It'd be nice to pull some of that rock back into it. Try and do things like that. Pretty obvious nobody else is going to do it. Sure. Yeah, I know you get tired of hearing me say it. I say it every time I ride back through here. This is such a beautiful place to ride. When I first came here, it was all natural, pines everywhere out there. You had that rich pine smell, in the air. And you still have that a little bit with the ones that are remaining here, but it ain't quite like it was. It was just, and every trail was unique, like I said, that older man that had owned this land, who's no longer living, he made some really nice trails back here. I mean, he was retired, he spent a lot of time, and he had a little mini excavator, that he used to make the paths and move trees and stuff out of the way with. And he worked back here almost every day, it was kind of almost like a hobby for him, but, yeah. And then, him passing away was the onset of all of this, the logging. everything. When he was living, he never would have stood for any of this to have happened. He would not have any part of it. I can tell you. I knew him, I knew him for a little while, he's an alright guy, but like I said, he took up a lot of time back here though, and I know it would really hurt him to see this the way it is now.